Peace, guys. Peace, peace, peace. What's going on? It's your girl, Crystal Dior. So I'm coming through with my spin-off of a sweet potato pie. So I'm making a raw butternut squash pie. So this recipe, I am going to be dehydrating the pie. So this is a dehydrated recipe. So what I have is the butternut squash. I have some cinnamon, ground ginger, some sea salt, and dates. So the dates is about a half a cup, almost a cup of dates. I'm going to be putting it in the food processor. Now I'm going to break down the butternut squash. I'm going to shred it first and then break it down with all the ingredients. So let's get started. So this is one of those videos where I don't have my tripod, so I'm holding it as I go. Sorry, you know I don't do measurements. So let me add my spices and then add the dates and show you what it look like. Then I'm gonna also show you the crust that I make. It's going to be the flaxseed crust with it. You can use any type of nut if you don't want to use flaxseed. So alright, let's go. Okay, so although it's a little bit of butternut squash right there, I'm not focused on it. I want you to see the filling. So the filling is going to, like I said, it's like a sweet potato pie filling. So you want it to be a nice thick filling. Like I stated, the ingredients I showed you was the ingredients I use. Dates and spices. So I use ginger, sea salt, and cinnamon. If you wanted to have like more of a pumpkin spice, you can use a little bit of allspice and cardamom. I can't pronounce that one. Cardamom, something like that. For a pumpkin spice. I'm not really a big pumpkin fan. So I used a lot more dates and a little bit more spices because I wanted it to be a sweet spice, but you want it to be a thick consistency like this. So this is the little flaxseed cup that I made. It's going to be my little pie cup. Now I had made this and I put it in the freezer overnight, so it's very firm cup. Now if you want, you can also just shape it into more of a pie crust. I just wanted the deep dish one. That's just me. But if you wanted to, you could shape it into more of a pie crust. And for real, this is small. It's like a cup. So if you see my hand, it's like a cup size. I did have other ones, but I ate them. So this is a lone soldier. So let's fill it up. And I'm going to put this in the dehydrator overnight. So I just wanted to bake for a little bit, and then after it's in the dehydrator, I'm going to refrigerate it. And I might make some more crust because I do got a lot of batter left. So we'll see. It's kind of late tonight. Another thing you can do as well, like if you didn't want to do this full recipe with the pie, what you can also do is you can also just add a little bit of your flaxseed. You can add a little bit of flaxseed to your batter, or you can add whatever like base you use. So walnut, grounded walnuts, or whatever nuts you use in replace of flour. You can add that to your batter and just make little cookies. So that's what I might do. I might just add a little bit of flaxseed to the batter and then put the cookies on a sheet and make little cookies for the remaining of it. Alright guys, so let's see how this turned out. Alright, so this is the part 2. So what I'm going to do is a 3-part recipe with the butternut squash. Initially I was just going to do the butternut squash pie, but you know what, I had an abundance of butternut squash, so I said let's do 3 different recipes. So 2 of them are dehydrated recipes, and then the other one is going to be just a raw recipe. If you don't have a dehydrator, you could slow bake it. But this is for my raw vegans out there. But if you are a vegan, you wanted to try it, you can always put it on the lowest temperature in your. You can always put it on the lowest temperature on your oven. and do it that way as well. So you don't need a dehydrator for this recipe if you use an oven. You just have to watch it. So I'm going to put these in my dehydrator overnight. And like I stated, the initial dough that I had for the pie filling, I just added probably a half a cup to a cup of flaxseed in it, give or take. I just wanted it to have a little thicker consistency. So these are pretty big little cookies. So I'll show you those as well in the morning once it's done baking in my dehydrator. So this is the second recipe, a butternut squash cookie. So it's squash season, guys. Let's try out different things, different flavors. You can always put the spices in here that you like. My main 3 spices is the ginger, cinnamon, and sea salt. Now for all the Sabians out there, I know you're going to say something about cinnamon. If you ever bought the Bromide Plus powder, on the lid there's a recipe with cinnamon. So don't come at me or my video, come at the Dr. Sabi office about that cinnamon being on that lid. Alright, so this is the second recipe and I'll show you the third one. Last but not least is the remainder of the shredded butternut squash, and I actually had some regular zucchini that I shredded with the butternut squash. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to add a few seasonings to this, and I'm going to add like a capful or less of oil. So if you use grapeseed oil or olive oil, you can add this to the recipe. I'm a raw vegan, so I use little oil. For this, I will be adding the oil though, and then I'm going to add my herbs and spices. So I'm going to use my sea salt, cayenne pepper, some oregano, and some parsley, a little bit of dill as well. So you can add whatever spices you would like to this combination. It's yours, whatever your flavor palette desires. So this is the Savory Raw option. And like I said, I'm sorry for the angles, guys. Like, I don't have my tripod, but I'm trying to bring you health one way or another. So this is going to be my dinner for tonight, and I'll show you the end result. Alright, so this is the finished product. Last but not least, the butternut squash with zucchini mixture. So this is a very simple meal to have. It is very light. The texture is easy. Like if you see, it looks like cheese. So it's very easy to bite into. If you use butternut squash before, you know it's kind of a hard root vegetable, but it has a nice sweetness to it. So the savory and sweetness on this simple meal will have your palates going crazy, guys. I'm telling you. So try it today. So this is the third recipe. This is the third recipe that I made with the butternut squash. So in this vlog, it's going to be 3 different recipes. Like I said earlier, I apologize for all the angles, but this is the last recipe. If you have fresh herbs, please use fresh herbs. I didn't have any on hand. I just used my dry herbs. They're in there, trust me. Like if I get closer, you can see it. But check it out, guys. It's really simple. It's very tasty, and it's healthy for you. What's going on? You already know it's your girl Crystal Dior. So first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for clicking on this video. So in this video, I originally was just going to make my butternut squash pie tart, but I was compelled to do more recipes for you because I had a large butternut squash, and the tart was just for 3 little pie cups that I made, not for a full pie. So I was like, okay, well, I could break this down into 3 different recipes for you guys. So the first recipe is the butternut squash pie tart. Now, I use flaxseed. Flaxseed is alkaline. You can look it up. It's not on Sabi list, but I'm not a Sabian. I am an alkaline raw vegan. So I use flaxseed. So I use flaxseed and date as my crust. If you would like, you can use any nut that you would like and dates as your crust. So the second recipe is a butternut squash cookie. So with the pie tart, what I did was I actually added some grounded flaxseed to the mixture and processed that probably for a minute or less and made it a thicker excuse me, and made it a thicker dough. So once I did that, I basically molded and put it on my dehydrator sheet. It made about 9 big cookies. You could break it up and make smaller cookies if you choose, but I just wanted to have a bigger cookie. I'm going to keep that in my dehydrator overnight, so I'm going to have it in there for at least 8 to 10 hours. And if you don't have a dehydrator and you wanted to try the recipe and you're just a non-raw vegan, what you can do is you can put it in your oven. You could put it in your oven at a low temperature, because you really don't want it to cook too fast. If you want to, that's totally your choice. I don't have the oven temperature for you because I don't use an oven, sorry, but that's totally your choice. You could throw it in the oven, as well as the first recipe, which is the butternut squash pie tart. You could put that in the oven as well. So those two are the dehydrated baked options. And then the last and final one is just this funky little butternut squash salad. It's butternut squash and zucchini, and I mixed a little bit of seasonings and a little bit of oil, olive oil, just a little bit. I just did really a drop. I don't really use oil that much, but I just did it to just basically blend all the spices that I put into this. If you do use it, you can use at least a capful, but don't really use more. Sometimes you don't want to overkill your items with oil. So this is just a funky little recipe. If I had fresh herbs, I would have placed fresh herbs in this recipe, but I just didn't have any at the moment. Also, you can add whatever else you want to it. If you wanted to add kale, if you wanted to add onions, peppers, whatever your heart desire is your recipe. I just wanted to keep it plain and simple and highlight the butternut squash in this recipe. So that's what I did. Moving on, if this is your first time visiting Crystal Dior, the BlackVegan Raw channel, thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe today. My channel is around overall healing. So I do raw recipes. I have something called Rapping Raw, which is a new series on my channel where I'm going to just talk about real things and give you the tea with herbs, you know, different health benefits, different detoxes that you could possibly do, fasts that you can do. So that's something that I'm aiming to do going forward. I also have my Raw Rap Chronicles. They are my spoken word pieces, my raps. I'm not a rapper whatsoever, but when you do spoken word, sometimes your flow can seem more rappy. So I just say Raw Rap Chronicles, okay? So please check them out if you have yet to do so. And of course, these raw recipes for you guys. I do want to spit something for you newcomers, just in case you never heard any of my poems, and I don't really want this to be but so long. So I'll just do one of my famous poems that a lot of people like, and it's Wolves. It's a minute poem. So when friends turn to enemies, got beef to turn them friends into memories. Move out of my life with all that negative energy. See, no longer will I tolerate or exaggerate a relationship between real versus fake. Your vibes are speaking out loud. Lovers, friends, and enemies now. How do you build a house just to get knocked down? Now you look at me like, wow. Wow, what? Me, I have never changed. Maybe just alter the game. My feelings has always been true. Real honest and loyal to you. But you move like a snake. Things you do, I just can't relate. With this growth, I see chicks be fake. At competition with me, you could never win this race. On top I be, sipping on my herbal tea. Meditate, isolate, congratulate my damn self. You mad for what? Cause I'm here to help, heal, instead of cause heartbreak or kill. Be fake, fat, phony too? Nah, never. I'll leave that spot to you. Creep, creep, little sheep. Take your ass back to sleep. Wolves. Alright guys, so that was one of my spoken word pieces called Wolves. Please like this video, comment below, share it, and subscribe today. Peace, love, and light. Oh, by the way, I made this crown. It's black lava rock. I make crowns as well. So just check me out, guys. All my information is below in the description box. Peace.